The lens then tracked another soldier, lying in the open ground. Practicing with a grenade held close for security, fatigue again took over. The device sliding silently from his hand. Persistent aerial observation demonstrates how drones magnify small errors, turning them into vulnerabilities across modern battlefields. Elsewhere, another soldier crouched inside a shallow trench, attempting to clean his weapon. A careless movement triggered an accidental shot, exposing his position. Transitioning deeper into the battlefield. The UAV lens fixed on another soldier resting in an open field, a grenade held loosely in his hand. Fatigue pressed heavier than vigilance. And as sleep overcame him, the weapon slipped quietly beside him. Surveillance drones highlight how unseen weaknesses, like exhaustion, can become decisive factors in battlefield dynamics. In Donetsk, a group of Russian soldiers carried a wounded comrade across open ground. When a drone appeared overhead, panic set in, and they abandoned him as they scattered. Further along the Lyman sector, a reconnaissance soldier sat in an open field, a radio pressed to his hand as he reported back to command. Minutes passed, the feed steady, until an FPV drone approached from above. Its payload released with precision, and the position was neutralized. This sequence shows how aerial systems can track, decide, and strike in ways ground forces cannot anticipate. Nearby, a third soldier tried to conceal himself in a ruined building, but Ukrainian forces, guided by drones, struck the shelter with precision. This sequence shows how constant surveillance magnifies small errors and reduces the value of cover. Near the cemetery, in the same sector, another soldier ran through the trees, chased by an FPV drone. The first strike forced him to react, yet instead of yielding, he gestured defiantly toward the machine. That response revealed his position once more, drawing in another drone within seconds. The pursuit ended, leaving no room for escape or miscalculation. Back in the Lyman direction, an engineer emerged from the brush carrying an anti-tank mine. The heat pressed hard, and he stopped near a power pole to rest. From above, an FPV drone closed the distance and struck with precision, leaving the position neutralized. The sequence shows how drones can watch patiently, then act decisively when least expected. On another open field, two unarmed soldiers sprinted with a drone behind them. The first was quickly spotted, the machine cutting low across his path before stopping him. Behind, the second bolted in panic, believing he had escaped. Moments later, another drone circled in, ending the chase. This demonstrates how overlapping drone strikes control movement and reduce any chance of retreat. Crossing to the Donetsk region, an isolated soldier moved through a barren forest, searching for food and water without success. When a drone passed overhead, panic drove him to flee, exposing his position. Another drone soon arrived, surrounding him. Attempts to resist failed, and the soldier was neutralized. Layered drone patrols demonstrate how surveillance pressure forces exposure even without direct combat. In the forests of Donetsk, operators of Ukraine's 30th Mechanized Brigade spotted a Russian dugout hidden beneath layers of camouflage. A drone descended through the canopy, releasing its payload and igniting the tree line. Within seconds, soldiers inside the shelter abandoned their cover, forced into the open. Moments later, Ukrainian special forces from the 3rd Group of the Special Operations Center West advanced into the forest, moving with discipline. Some directed fire toward the shelter, while others provided overwatch. Once the position was confirmed empty, troops cleared the dugout step by step, with machine gunners securing the perimeter. The action illustrated how ground forces and drones combined to dismantle fortified hideouts. As the forest quieted, a fiber-optic drone swept overhead, its thermal lens cutting through cover. It identified another group of soldiers equipped with camouflage suits, attempting to stay invisible, but unable to escape detection. Finally, another FPV drone swept along the tree line, its lens locking onto a small group of Russian troops concealed in brush. The machine closed in, neutralizing the position a few minutes later. The drone identified even larger movements, clusters of troops shifting between trees. The pursuit continued until their routes were blocked. This sequence demonstrates how drones expand surveillance, reveal deception, and reduce the effectiveness of concealment on the battlefield. In the Lyman direction, a Russian soldier hid behind a tree as a drone circled above. Forced into the open, he ran through the trees. The first strike missed, but the second closed in, ending the chase. The scene shows how persistent observation steadily narrows safe choices. Further across Donetsk, two soldiers withdrew over open ground, exhausted and stopping to rest. Above them, unseen eyes tracked every move. A drone descended, drawing fire but pressing forward, striking the nearest target. One soldier survived the first hit. But a second drone arrived to finish the pursuit. The second soldier pressed himself into the ground, feigning stillness, only to face another incoming drone. The sequence reflects how layered drone tactics deny cover, forcing ground troops into constant exposure. In the Lyman area, a Russian logistics truck sat parked with soldiers guarding nearby. From above, an FPV drone descended, disabling the vehicle despite attempts to block its path. Close by, two soldiers spotted the machine and tried to respond, but their efforts failed. Further down the road, a lone soldier noticed the approaching aircraft and quickly retreated. The scene reveals how drones disrupt movement and maintain constant pressure on ground forces. Shifting to the Kupyansk direction, a soldier ran weaving between bare trees as a drone followed overhead. His pace slowed, fatigue setting in, and he pressed against a tree for cover. When the drone closed in, instinct drove him to throw his weapon toward it. The attempt changed nothing. The sequence reflects how drone pressure builds constant tension, leaving little space for retreat. In another sector of Donetsk, two soldiers attempted to move forward but found the bridge ahead destroyed. Forced to turn back, they concealed themselves in roadside brush from above. A drone hovered, spotting one soldier crouched low. The strike neutralized his position. Startled, the second soldier ran to another thicket, but a second drone closed in, driving directly into the base of the tree. This sequence shows how surveillance drones detect even the smallest movements, leaving no safe place to hide. War drains strength from soldiers and nations alike, leaving behind silence where life once thrived. Every clash, every pursuit, shows how human exhaustion and fear replace hope. Yet peace builds the opposite fields restored, families reunited, voices returning. Only through peace can real security and progress grow. If you find this perspective meaningful, consider supporting the channel with a like, share, or subscribe to join the conversation.